Alright guys, today we're going to be reviewing the classic, humble British Army Arctic sleeping bag. Join me. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new about here, thanks for joining me. Today, as I said in the intro, we're going to be talking about the British Army Arctic sleeping bag. Yes, it looks massive, and it is massive. As you've seen in the intro, yeah, you can get lost in it. There's lots of room. But yeah, this particular bag, the British Army Arctic bag, this is the synthetic filled one. There is one with down feathers. Originally there was a 58 pattern sleeping bag which had down feathers and the bottom was waterproofed. They had like a shiny waterproof coating on the bottom. Then there was just a down one which is similar to this, but this is a hollow fibre synthetic fill. It looks massive. This is it in the compression sack. But yes, it can pack down smaller than this, which I'll show you now. Right, so measurement wise, we're talking about 54 centimetres. With 54 centimetres in the compression sack, and width, we're talking about, yeah, about 28 centimetres, maybe 30 centimetres. But yeah, this can be packed down a lot smaller. A lot of people keep all your this. The technique we used to use in the army, push it down, start doing the straps up either side, and then put your knee on it. Put your knee on it, and you can get this down really small. So there, you can get it down to this. This is why the nickname in the British Army, we used to call this the bouncing bomb. Because yeah, you can get it down to this size. Let me just check the size of it now. Yeah, we're talking about get it down to about 31 centimetres that way, and roughly about the same, about 30 centimetres that way. So yeah, you can get it into that, a bouncing bomb. But in the army, we very rarely ever used it inside the compression sack. The sleeping bag would be took out, packed down to the bottom of your bergen, inside a Gore-Tex bivy bag. But yeah, let's get this out and we'll check it out properly, the specs on it. Again, it's easy enough. You just loosen off the straps. Loosen off the straps as far as they can go. As you can see, this compression sack is a bit weathered. There's little holes in it, so yeah, not too waterproof, so I wouldn't trust it just in the compression sack anyway. Compression sack is mainly for storage. It's mainly for putting it away in your cupboard after use. Although I do like to keep it quite loose, so it doesn't compress the filling, even though it's a synthetic fill. So that's it, and it has a little drawstring. Right, I'm going to show you the sleeping bag proper out on the floor now, and I'll go through all the specs and stuff with you. Right, so there is the sleeping bag in its entirety. I'll give you a close up and I'll show you the individual features of the sleeping bag. Right, I do believe this is the long version, the large version of the Army Arctic sleeping bag. So we're going to measure it. It says it should be 220 centimetres in length. So yeah, we'll check that out. That right at the bottom. And yeah, if I pull that hood out, yeah, 220. So it's 220 centimetres in length. We'll check out the width for the foot box. It states in various websites this should be 50 centimetres. So yeah, we'll check out the foot box. And yeah, bang on 50 centimetres. Also says the shoulder width should be 80 centimetres. We'll check that out. And a little bit more than 81 actually. So yeah, the measurements are all correct. 220 centimetres in length, 50 centimetres at the foot box, 80 centimetres width at the shoulder part. As I mentioned earlier, it's 50 centimetres at the foot box, and you do have a foot box in this. Yeah, it's quite wide at the bottom. Many times I've used this, obviously in the army, you need to keep your boots on in case you need to get out your sleeping bag at a moment's notice. So yeah, a lot of time, most of the times probably, whilst in the army, I used to sleep with my boots on. But yeah, without your boots on, there's lots of room. So yeah, there is a dedicated foot box. Going up, the zip, it's a really strong zip. It's not a YKK zip. I think it says Opti, but the zip is only from the inside, so nobody can zip you out from the outside. The zipper is only from in the inside. So let's open this up. First thing you'll notice is these massive storm flaps. They help keep heat retention. So once it's zipped up, you've got those inside, which yeah, it just stops any heat emitting from the sleeping bag. Also, a point I want to note, inside you have these huge mesh pockets. You'll see it advertised on various sites saying, yes, you can keep your mobile phone in here and stuff inside your sleeping bag. When these were first designed, I think this sleeping bag itself is 1996. Yeah, mobile phones were in their infancy. What these are for, and I don't see many people mention this, is if you had wet socks, a wet t-shirt, or like maybe some wet combat trousers, what you'd do is you'd press them out to get all the water out of it. You'd stick it in there, or in the other side, there's two large mesh pockets. You would put your wet socks in there, go to sleep. In the morning, your socks would be dry. So yeah, the mesh pockets inside the sleeping bag are primarily for wet kit. Put your wet kit in there, and yeah, it's going to dry off by the morning. It might be a little bit uncomfortable, but inside these bags it gets really warm. So yeah, the mesh pockets on the inside, they're for drying wet kit. Right, so we'll go along to the top. The hood. The hood is a mummy style hood that also has a draw cord. These hoods, they're massive hoods. They come right over your head. And as I said, I am 6'1", and this bag is, yeah, lots of room in it. I can lie in it and I've still got lots of room. So this goes over, and you have some lace drawstrings. The hood can go right up. You can basically cover yourself, just lose yourself inside this sleeping bag. Also with the hood, yeah, you can tell there's extra insulation. It feels a lot more padded. So yeah, the hood is insulated. The hood is insulated. You have a drawstring, you have draw flaps, and yeah, I just think this sleeping bag in general is yeah, very good for certain purposes, which I'll go on to explain in a minute. Right, I know you can't see in the camera, but my legs are at the very bottom of the sleeping bag. And basically I have the whole hood section free, so I've probably got 6 inches to play with at the hood. This hood will come right over me, you can see there. And once it's zipped up, yeah, I've got a hood to play with. So the large Army Arctic sleeping bags, they are massive, and then you pull in. So basically you can absolutely cocoon yourself in this. Many a night I've been out in the field in the army, and yeah, it's been a cold, wet, rainy night inside here. And the reason the bags are so wide is because a lot of the times I'd be going into these bags with wearing my uniform, maybe wearing body armour. Inside the sleeping bag, my rifle would go with me as well. I'd be wearing my boots. So that's why the bags are so big. Because yeah, you take your kit in with you. Sometimes maybe even you take your ammo pouches in there with you. Depends, different people, but you'd always take your rifle in with you. You'd always be wearing your boots. And I said, you could be wearing your body armour, just depending on the situation. So these sleeping bags needed to have a lot of room inside it. So, the British Army Arctic sleeping bag. Would I recommend it? Yes, 100% I'd recommend it. It's going to keep you warm on a cold night, 100%. I have used this sleeping bag all over the world. In fact, this particular sleeping bag I have used, so I don't know if it's maybe losing some of its efficiency, but yeah. Regardless of my time in the army, the last 5 years I've spent wild camping. I've been out in the I think the coldest has been down to -3, -4 in the Galloway forest. I'll put a link up to that video where I used this. Woke up in the morning, tent was covered in frost. The only thing it was cold was my face. It's because I don't like covering my face at night time. So I woke up in the morning, had a cold face, -3, -4. Everything else was, yeah, it was nice and toasty, nice and warm. So in recent years when I've used this, coldest it's been down to is -3, -4, and I said I was fine. I think the actual comfort temperature rating for this, it varies depending on what website, what video you watch, but yeah, I think the general consensus is that it's comfort rating a -10. I'm not going to say yes or no to that because I'm just going by recent years. I've got a bad memory when I've used this in the past in the army, but in recent years I've had it down to -3 or -4, so yeah, it's definitely good for that. Past that, you're maybe pushing it. Maybe pair it with the British Army bivvy bag. The British Army Gore-Tex bivvy bag, brilliant bit of kit also. I usually keep this inside the bottom of my Bergen, wrapped up in a bivvy bag, which keeps it like a waterproof liner for it. And also the British Army Gore-Tex bivvy bag can add a few degrees, just having that as an outer layer over this and to stop this getting wet. But yeah, I've also done a video on the British Army bivvy bag, check a link somewhere up there. The British Army Gore-Tex bivvy bag, great bit of kit also. Anyway, back to the sleeping bag. Yeah, it'll definitely keep you warm, down about -3, -4. Who would use this sleeping bag? People on a budget. To buy a decent cold weather bag, you're probably talking a couple of £100 to get you down to the same temperatures as this. Yes, it's big and bulky, so if you've got a caravan, you want a sleeping bag, this is perfect. If you're going to a campsite, not too far from the car, this is perfect. Or if you're doing wild camping and you don't need to lug this too far, yeah, it's probably perfect. I've been on some camps where I've hiked in 6-7 miles and I've had this. It's not a problem to me personally, but you do need to lose some of your luxuries because this takes up a lot of room inside your backpack or Bergen or whatever you're doing. And that's why I usually pack it in the bottom. Don't keep it in the compression sack. I pack it down as much as I can. But yeah, it does take up a lot of room. And if you only have a smaller pack, maybe a 60, 70 litre pack, yeah, you're not going to get a lot of room for anything else. So yeah, for budget campers, who are just starting, wild campers, perfect bit of kit. If you take a big bag with you, if you can, the army rucksack or something that's like 80 litre, 90 litre, if you want to take luxuries with you. Yeah, so for that, it's absolutely perfect. If you're going on multi-day hikes, you're going up the hills and stuff, this is not the bag you want. I think the weight is about 2.6 kilograms. So yeah, it's quite heavy, it's quite bulky. It's not suited for going hiking up the hills and stuff. Although we used to do things like that in the army and that, I was a lot younger, a lot fitter and stuff. But yeah, if you're starting off camping, wild camping, this is absolutely perfect bag. And as I said, it only costs you £30. Right guys, there's nothing more to say. In fact, no, I've got one more thing to say. At the bottom of the Army Arctic sleeping bag, there's a strange strap. So, never seen this being used before. So I looked it up online, ChatGPT, and ChatGPT says, yeah, this was used for rolling up the sleeping bag. You'd roll it up from the top end down to the bottom, and this strap would be the straps that go through on your backpack and your Bergen. So you could just keep this out of compression sack rolled up on your Bergen. I think that's a stupid idea, and I've never seen anybody use this strap to that effect. So you're having your sleeping bag rolled up and outside of your Bergen. If you're going through sort of thick foliage, it starts raining, that's a lot of hassle trying to get your sleeping bag, which is not waterproof in itself, back into the bag. The only time I've ever used this is a couple of times when the sleeping bag has got wet and I've hung it up in a branch of a tree. That's the main reason I've seen people use this strap, for hanging it up in a tree. Anyway guys, I've not made a video in a little while because yeah, I've had some health issues. Hopefully that's going to be sorted out soon and I'll get back out camping. Apologies, this video is a little bit amateur, it's in my house, but yeah, it is what it is. I needed to make some content, and yeah, I've been meaning to do a video about this sleeping bag for a long time. Right guys, you know what to do. If you like the video, smash the like button. If you haven't already subscribed, it'd be much appreciated. Hit the subscribe button. Hopefully the next video is going to be a well camping one. I'll see you then.